Welcome everybody back to the Crimson 15 podcast. I'm your host, Crimson 10.
And 15 PCA.
And make sure to follow us on Twitter at C15 Podcast. And today we're going to be reviewing Black Mirror. The new season just came out, and the first episode, the USS Callister. The only reason why I really wanted to do this because it's the very Trek influence I saw from the trailer. So. And I thought, you know what? I actually have never watched an episode of Black Mirror. I've seen people do breakdowns and that, so I pretty much get the gist. Okay, it's darker version of Twilight Zone.
Yeah. But the thing is, everything's sci-fi, though. It's every science and technology. It's never...
Yeah, and then this one, you know, you can watch our trailer reaction, and we were kind of wrong and kind of right in certain spots.
Yeah.
But the episode starts out with, and it looks like a cheesy episode of like an original Next Generation. Not even Next Generation.
Man, we're talking about the original series, sorry, with Kirk and all them, yeah.
So, you know, they're just kind of doing basic Kirk-like things, and even the screen looks a little grainy and stuff.
Oh, yeah, it's really
So
good.
we're watching, it's like, okay, but it's super cheeseball.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm not sure, because I'm a Trek fan, and I'm not making excuses for the original series. It's honky-tonk as hell.
Yeah.
But it's not as cheesy as it's portrayed in this show.
No, it's not. It felt like Outer Limits.
Yeah, it really felt like...
Yeah, those kind of things.
Yeah, even worse than, like, Buck Rogers at times.
Buck Rogers... Out of this world, those kind of like weird Flash Gordon almost, real burly hammy.
So, you know, you kind of see this thing, and then, you know, they're doing like a regular adventure, and then he gets out and like, oh, it's just a regular guy. Mm-hmm. And he's like walking into work, and the secretary's mean to him, and just cold to him.
Yeah, just really kind of crude.
I mean, imagine the worst 80s secretary.
Yeah.
Who's just like always looking at her, doing her nails and like that, and just not paying attention. You're a horrible secretary. Yeah. Just go be something else.
Yeah, be a little more friendly, like, my goodness.
And then this guy, you know, is kind of bummish looking. He's walking through the office. At first I thought, is this guy a customer? Or is he an employee?
Boy, what's going on here,
Yeah,
right?
because he just doesn't seem like... And then he walks into one guy, and he's like, oh, you're making coffee? And he's like, oh, whatever, latte, skim milk, whatever. And he's like, oh, good choice. And he's like, the guy just seems awkward around people.
He can't cope. He has no social skills.
Yeah, his social skills are at, like, 0.
Yeah.
Then he kind of starts still walking around. Then he kind of trips over a guy's gym bag. And the guy's like, oh, I guess you didn't see my bag there. And they're like being like playful with them. But it's almost like fake playful.
Yeah.
And I kind of like, oh, he must be a coworker. Because they're treating him like the coworker that, oh, we have to deal with this guy.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Then you see him because everyone's like in the cubicles.
Yeah.
And then he has an office. Oh, he's like an important person.
Yeah.
You find out he's like the freaking like president.
Yeah, he's a co-president. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, everyone's treating this guy like dirt. That'd have been like when Bill Gates worked for Microsoft. He walks in and everyone's goofing on him. Like, what's going on?
That would never do that.
Yeah.
Like it's a little over the top. It really is.
Yeah, you would think he was some intern coder guy, not like the inventor.
Oh, we get it. There are a lot of mean people in the office. I mean, you get that feeling right away.
And I guess the company's called Callister or whatever. Yeah. And from what you can glean, there's like a commercial for like the video game in the background. Oh, they're a gaming company.
Yeah.
So I guess it's some type of virtual reality world.
Yeah, and I guess they have a game called Infinite or something like that.
Yeah, that's like funny thing is I just finished reading Ready Player One. It's just like the Oasis. It's like a virtual reality world that you go into, and then you assume a role of a character, and you can do what you want.
Yeah, basically.
So he coded this whole universe, and he's treated worse than like the paper guy.
Oh yeah,
who comes to like replace the ink in the printer.
Yeah, and there's this new girl that.
Oh yeah, and she comes in and she's like, "Oh wow, you're the..." Forget the guy's name, and she's like really like in awe by like his coding ability because she's a coder too apparently. And she's like, oh, it's, you know, nice to meet you. She shows him around his office, and he, of course, has a bunch of old Callister stuff.
Yeah, he really likes that stuff.
Very Next Generation. He has them, like, on VHS.
And Blu-ray and DVD, yeah.
I'm imagining this is, like, way, way in the future. So having VHS copies of something, like, even today is, like, ridiculous.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to come by, but in that time, it would be almost impossible.
And he has, like, the statues and the posters and the comics. Okay, he's, like, a super fan. Mm-hmm. But... And you feel kind of bad for him.
At that point, yes.
At this point in the show, you feel like, oh, everyone's kind of cold to him, and the only person that was kind of nice to him was this one girl.
Yeah, maybe she thought, oh, this guy's a cool guy, you know. He really
like, oh, he might find a friend.
Yeah. And
then, you know, I guess the co-owner is complaining about getting the patch out for the game. And then he sees the new girl and is like, oh, let me give you the tour. And, of course, he's a very, I want to say he's a personable person. So he's like, oh, let me show you around. He's being super nice to her, and then you could tell that he's getting jealous. Yeah. Like, he's like, oh, you stole my girl kind of feeling. It's like, he just met this girl.
Yeah, that's how insane it is.
It's so embarrassing.
Very much so. And then the other girl has a conversation with this other lady who works there. And she's kind of like, she has a heavy British accent.
Oh, her British accent. I had to put subtitles on.
Yeah, it was hard to understand. And she says, well, he's kind of weird, don't mess with him. So then she kind of got standoffish a little bit at that point. Talking to him.
He stares a lot. And he kind of does. And then, but she was more upset with the coder guy, the staring, than the other guy who was more personable. Oh, yeah, if he threw a sandwich across the room, he would F it.
Yeah.
She's more okay with that.
Because but like in her mind, like that's acceptable somehow. But with him being a little creepy,
so you're okay with the dude being a super pervert than a guy who might stare at you a little more?
Yeah, that's weird. That was weird.
So
it was a little heavy on the fact he's just an outcast.
So I'm thinking, he escapes into this world where he gets to be the captain, and it's funny because things that happened in real life, he uses them in this thing like. He's like, you need to talk to your coders and tell them to get this patch out on time. Don't ask them, tell them.
Yeah.
So when next time he's on the Callister in his fantasy world, I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. So he gets to kind of be the boss that he wants to be.
But the thing is funny, you see the people in real life in the show, like, what is he programmed? What are these things? We don't know.
But it's weird but you can see that when he's doing his fantasy world, that the actors, quote, the participants, they're acting a little weird, a little off. Like, why would he code them that way?
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Like, if I invented, Crimson Sin's Star Trek Online, where I was Captain Picard, I wouldn't program people I knew to be standoffish and weird. So I was kind of confused about why would he do that.
Yeah, it's odd. It's very odd. Why would he do that?
But they go and you find out later what's happening is. He's like, and this is where I think the wheels came off, and I just stopped caring about the rest of it. This is like 15 minutes in. It's like an hour.
It's an hour and 16, almost 20 minutes.
This could have been 40 minutes long.
Yeah.
Anyways, he gets their DNA because you see him grab, because the new girl was drinking a coffee. And she's nice to him.
Yeah, she wasn't
So there's no reason why he's being mean to her. Anyways, he grabs like her coffee cup and he puts it in a plastic bag. I'm like, what is he, like a pervert? He's like collecting her stuff. Yeah. No, he puts it in this little machine and like gets her DNA, and then once it transcodes it puts them in his fantasy world. I'm like, okay, so it'd be like a model of them.
Yeah.
It has all their memories, all their feelings.
It's just so weird. Like, it makes no sense.
Everything that makes a person who they are, to that millisecond. So
it's weird.
As soon as her lips left the coffee cup, all her memories were imprinted onto the coffee cup.
Your DNA would be able to do your physical, but not your mental.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't it be like if he made them look like the characters, but acted like the way he wanted?
But then you wouldn't have all the conflict.
Yeah, true. But I'm just saying from a realistic standpoint of technology.
So the new girl ends up on the ship, and then of course, her little skinny skirts and everything, because that's just how this world is. And she's like, weirded out. Like, what is this a dream? Where am I? And all the other people on the ship, like, well, honey, you're stuck here, and have a drink. So you're telling me, can someone explain to me, do you honestly believe your DNA has all of your memories up to the last millisecond?
No.
So my thumbprint on my laptop right now has all my memories.
Wouldn't it make more sense if it had been a brain scan somehow? Like he scanned their brains or something? Well, that made more sense. Give me that.
Go use a test build. I need you guys to beta test something. And when they're beta testing something for their game, he's getting like brainwaves.
Yeah, wouldn't that have been a better way of doing it? And I'm going to use you as a mock model, but you won't be in the final product.
So
perfect. You're
telling me he has this type of technology. How many crimes could be solved if you could get the DNA of a person, bring them to digital life, and be like, hey, who shot you?
Yeah.
What do you remember the night that you were killed?
And then make it like, well, now since we brought you to life, we'll keep you in this program.
Like a digital world.
So you can, as long as you don't die, you'll be fine. You'll be able to live.
I think he's the only person with this.
Yeah, which is weird. Why would you hide this? You'd be a billionaire if you gave us the world.
How much you could do just in the world of, just, again, like in criminal law.
Oh, yeah. Like, wouldn't it have been something if this would have been a commonplace thing? Like, well, everyone has the technology. Okay, establish that so we know then, okay, everyone has this. Only he does?
Yeah. And again, I cannot believe that my DNA has all my memories. No. So if I plucked a hair, it would have all my memories from that moment past. No. But tomorrow, and I plucked another hair, it would have tomorrow's memories.
Like I said, physical, yes, not mental. There's no way. There's no way.
So once that whole ridiculous plotline was put into the show, I kind of lost interest and was hoping for the episode to end.
Yeah.
And this wasn't even halfway in. I'm like,
no, it was like maybe 25 minutes.
We were in for a ride.
Oh, yeah, it was something.
And then, they get back on the ship, and it's so campy, and every little thing, they're fighting, I guess, his arch nemesis guys like this. Yeah. Imagine Khan plus an 80s action bad guy.
Over the top, silly. And you realize what it is this is not part of the main program.
Yeah, it's
it's
like a separate.
So that way there's no way of getting out. Basically, at this point, you're stuck in this world and nothing you can do about it.
And she's freaking out, and she tries to go against I'm not going to play your game, and he basically takes her face away, and she can't breathe. She's a digital construct. Why would she need to breathe?
How a level of sophistication do you have to make this happen?
So these digital constructs, I don't know what else to call them. They can feel pain, feel desire, sadness, loneliness.
This is kind of the similarity what I say when I see other things like this. Like how can you make such a virtual world where you can feel things, you can interact with them, you can react how you really would react if you're not even real. If you're just a program memory of your DNA. That doesn't make any sense.
Again, there's things like in anime, Sword Art Online.
Online, I was going to mention that,
stuff
too.
like that.
Hack.
But so the NPCs that are digital players in the game have thoughts and feelings, and they have families and go home and get stressed about paying bills. That's insane.
Well, the funny thing is, this even goes worse than Sword Art Online, because at least you're the real person going through this. No, this is a DNA strand of you going through this and enacting the same way you would act exactly. Not kind of, exactly.
So freaking
I know
weird.
We're harping on it, but it's just ridiculous.
Everything is on that's the keystone of this episode. Yeah. And it's just like a thing, believe it. Well, okay. I guess I'll just believe it.
It almost seems like, we're on the 4th season of Black Mirror, we could just do this. That's what saying, you'll just go with it because you like Black Mirror. That's what it seems like. This wouldn't be a season 1 episode, I'll tell you that.
It's super weird. And, and it bounces back from the real world to the fake world. But
they have no idea what's going on in the world. No idea. None of it.
So they're still, the people in the fake world are they're talking to her, so what's going on in the real world? How many years has it been? So he's been doing this to these people for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
And at first I thought, well, maybe I kind of feel bad for him. They treat him like crap at work. But then when he's in the virtual world, he literally is sadistic. A despot.
Yeah.
He's a sociopath.
Yeah, literally he had one of the guys who's his the vice co-chair of his company be like a footstool for him.
Yeah, get on his hands and knees and so he could prop his feet up on him.
I guarantee this USS Callister TV show that's in this world, the captain would never do that. I guarantee he would never do
Here's
that.
the thing.
It's ridiculous.
I was the nerd in school.
Yeah.
And I felt like, I got picked on a little bit and bullied and everything. Never in a million years did I feel like, I wish I could go in a virtual world and torture these people. No.
I wanted to actually have new people. I would rather just make boss I wanted to be
Here's
there.
my fantasy of me Next Generation was the show I was watching, where I would look up to Picard and you know what? It was his compassion, his loyalty, his courage that I looked into. Not that I can make people do things. This guy was no real fan.
No, he wasn't. He perverted what it was.
Yeah.
I guarantee this Cal show was not like that at all.
No.
And it's also crazy about this. Crimson mentioned this a couple weeks ago, but what I would have done, this is before you even saw the episode, what about getting real people, like vets that lost their legs and arms and put in this world? Really their real themselves, so they could be like the way he is.
And they can walk again.
Wouldn't that have been a nice story? I know it's Black Mirror, but wouldn't that have been a nice story?
So, they start figuring out of course, because this new girl comes in and everyone's like, there's no way out, you can't figure it out. And of course, she's super smart and super amazing and super awesome.
Michael Burnham on
but she's a little more believable. And
yeah.
This girl has huge eyes.
Yeah, if you've seen the Battlestar Angel trailers, a little less than that. Yeah, they're pretty big.
She's a real person. She's got some big eyes.
I'd say it kind of fit the motif because it has a 1960 feel with the outfit. It kind of fits.
Yeah, it just has the look. It just was a funny.
Solid eye.
And they see that he has a trans. He has basically a communicator of some kind. And because he ordered a pizza and he paused the game, so they realized there must be some type of connection to the outside world. There's no connection.
Well, she figured that out. Yeah.
And then she's like, well, maybe we can use that. And then she's starting to figure all these things out in days.
What it gets me, they couldn't figure it out. But when they're on this planet, when they see this monster thing, that's actually a person.
Yeah.
He turned into that monster. Wow, that's a little messed up.
There was another lady who didn't want to play by his rules, so he turned her into some freak monster.
Yeah.
So he can literally change anything and anything.
Yeah, basically, have you ever seen the Twilight Zone movie? That second episode with that kid when he's in the house and he has those people in there. He makes his cartoons come to life like that.
Yeah, and we said that during the trailer.
Yeah.
Pretty much that's where at the time I said we were kind of right, kind of wrong. And there's even a scene where he ends up turning another lady into a monster. And there's a scene in that Twilight Zone where there's a big scary bunny. It's kind of the same effect.
Yeah. And what's weird, and I even called it when I said, she's going to punish her. She's trying to protect the new girl because she's getting a little mouthy and doesn't want to play along, and she turns her into a... I saw it coming she's going to punish her.
And he's like, I'll be benevolent. And he's just, you feel bad for him in the first 20 minutes. After that, he's kind of a sicko.
Yeah. He even goes a far little bit later in the episode of getting a digital copy of his son of the boss.
and like and throwing the sun out in outer space, make him watch him die.
Oh, what is wrong with you? Why?
I'm glad they didn't show it.
No, I'm kind of glad. That's the one thing I will say. But they didn't show things I'm glad they didn't show. I thought they were going to go there.
So they're trying like, okay, we have to do something. And then she kind of notices a wormhole out in outer space. And I guess that was like that big patch that was happening.
Yeah, which is funny. Earlier in the episode, if he would have got it done sooner, it would already been done.
Yeah.
See, but he
waited till like before Christmas.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because it manifests itself as a wormhole in the world, but it's just a patch. Yeah. Lucky for them, that's what happened, right?
Yeah, like it's weird. Like that, it became part of that program. Like this is, and she goes, "Wait a minute. If we can go through that, maybe we can erase ourselves and be dead." But then we figured, well, they have their DNA, and then that guy brought up, well, if he has our DNA in real life,
just make us again.
I mean, make us again.
It's so sadistic, and this guy really needs mental help.
Yeah, he needed to really get some like going to a mental institution.
And and they kind of come up with the plan to to get it all fit. We won't. I don't want to spoil it. Again, sorry if we. Well, I'll put a spoiler tag at the beginning, but they figure out a way to do stuff. And spoiler, stop the video now if you don't want to know how it ends. They hit the wormhole, and you think, oh, they're all going to die. But I called it before it happened. I'm like, they're not going to die. They're going to end up in the video game world.
The main world.
And what happens? Boom, they're in the video game world. And since that, I'm going to call him the bad guy, but the coder guy, I still don't know exactly how this happened. He didn't get through the wormhole because they were escaping, but the update detected his rogue code because he basically put a skin over everything, so it looked like, I want to say it looks like Trek, but it looked like his Callister shirt. Yeah. It erased all the evil code that was wrong, but wouldn't they be rogue code themselves? Anyways, they lived, and they're like enormous.
Maybe because the fact they had the real DNA, maybe it wouldn't. I don't know. I'm just pulling it out of you.
But somehow, I guess the update infected his test build and removed all of his admin controls, so he's stuck on the internet without being able to pull out.
Yeah.
He's going to be, on Christmas Day, hooked up to his machine probably for days, and he put his door on private. Yeah. So he's probably going to die in his share.
Yep. Because that was part of the deal, and he didn't give the guy the tip. What a jerk.
He's being like a jerk about it. And the thing is, I'm thinking, he did some evil stuff, but I don't think...
But it wasn't real.
But he didn't do it to real people. It's like the equivalent of a kid, some teenager having their journal of the people I don't like kind of journal.
Yeah. And there's a couple parts, like I said, we won't spoil it, where they could have shown nudity and they didn't, which I'm kind of glad. I'll be honest with you.
And, so it doesn't sound like we're nothing but complaining. I'm going to at least say how I would have done things a little differently. I wish the girl would have appealed to him from the angle of, if you're a captain in this world, would he be doing these things to us?
You're a captain in that show. Would he be like this? No, of course not.
Yeah, whatever captain. I don't think they even mentioned
the
real captain's name. But appeal to that side to him. Yeah. Be like, hey, say like it's no one else had knowledge of the show, but make it to where she did have a little knowledge of the show. Well, in episode this, the captain showed mercy to a race that did him wrong, and don't you think maybe you should impart and maybe appeal to his humanity,
and maybe let us go and let's go through that wormhole, and then maybe you can get people that want to be in this world that remember the show. Why don't you get people that, like I said, are crippled on it? Wouldn't that have been a nice message to have that? Like at the end, he'd be change of heart.
Yeah, and he's going to maybe people are disabled or maybe they're brain dead or something, and then they can relive and have like kind of a life,
Yeah, like especially if they're like they can't like move their body at all, like they're quadriplegic or something. Wouldn't that be something to at least be in that world time so you can move around? Wouldn't that be a nice thought?
And I was also thinking while watching this whole episode, I'm like, if you're a fan of Trek, I would say I'm not like a super mega fan, but I've watched all the series.
I'm a big fan.
I was a little offended. I kind of was.
At times, I liked some of the stuff, and there was a part where there was some genuine tension, but overall, I would have did it differently.
Because at the end,
this person did not like Star Trek who wrote this.
It kind of reminds me. It kind of reminds me of like if my older sister made something about Trek. Yeah, she knows it exists, but she thinks it's stupid, irritating sci-fi crap, and it just makes me think that people who don't know Trek are going to think, yeah, that's what those Trek losers wish they could do stuff like this, and that's not.
Again, it was cheap and easy. You could have really did something interesting with it.
Yeah,
and the thing is,
good and bad. Yeah. No, there's nothing but bad for this guy.
And then the thing is too. I think is interesting is that when you look at it, I've read synopses of other Black Mirror things, and they've had happy endings. Why couldn't this be a happy ending?
And it just seemed like it was just throwing dirt on Trek fans and sci-fi fans in general, and it's just like,
I didn't care for that. I just didn't. I wish it would have been handled different. Like, have your beginning, but then at least turn it at the end, you know? And then another thing, too, I didn't understand, too. Why didn't they somehow, like, not only just appeal to him, but, like, say, like, they got concept, oh, we're just playing, and see, isn't it cool that we did this thing, and then got him to kind of enjoy that kind of...
Yeah, because here's, again, going back, because we don't want to spoil everything in the episode, but there's times where if he has complete control, couldn't he, like, cue himself to stop everything?
Yeah.
And, like, just say, hey, bring the ship back.
I'm thinking he kind of enjoyed it in a weird kind of way. Like, oh, it's an adventure. Like, he was so... that's why I'm getting it.
Yeah, it's just, there were so many different little ways it could have took it.
Yeah.
And I just thought, overall, I just felt like they were making fun of me.
Yeah, it wasn't... It was about 80% bad, 20% good. That's what it felt like to me. It was an 80-20. Oh, if I get a rating overall, this is like a 5, 4.5.
Yeah, it's if you're a big time Trek fan like us, like if you've seen any of our other videos, you know we love sci-fi. You probably will feel a little bit offended.
I will say on superficial, the special effects weren't bad. The I thought the ship looked a little silly.
Yeah, the ship was rudimentary. Yeah, but the bug monster looked cool when they're flying through the asteroid belt.
I think I wish they would have got someone that knew Star Trek a little more, because I would have fleshed out the world. I would have had different aliens. I would have had different... Instead of just so generic, oh, we'll go to the planet and get this guy. Like, I would have made it more fleshed out, you know? That's what I would have done. Like, him talk to an admiral, make it a little bit more... Instead of just, oh, he's the captain. And it's like a very elementary school level how you think Star Trek is. That's what it felt like.
And, like, going back to what I said, like, maybe she tries to appeal to his... sense of like duty and honor as a it wasn't Starfleet. What was it called?
Something.
Something, but it's very, very similar to Starfleet, but it's not Starfleet.
I thought I heard at the beginning. I thought I heard it said Federation, like some.
Yeah, they said Federation, and they also said Star. Again, it's very.
Yeah, and they had some homages, but it gets lost because you just get annoyed at what's going on.
And like make it to where she almost turns him, but he's like, "No, this is my role to do what I want." And then they had to fight him off, but at least show that maybe he might have became good.
Yeah. And it's funny because after he's mentioned, they all praise him. That's probably the worst part of this.
Yeah, like hip hip hooray, literally saying hip hip hooray. They cheers for Captain.
Yeah. And it's so funny. All he does is kiss all the women on the crew, but that's it. He keeps at a G-rail level, nothing else.
Yeah,
like, he doesn't do anything else.
Which I thought was when I originally saw the trailer. I'm like, oh, is he going to be like a sexual predator? But only like kissing him on the lips. I'm like, I guess it could get worse.
It's a weird kind of like he keeps it like in the show would be. He keeps it kind of like G-rated.
Yeah, like he has
in that sense. That weird kind of.
He has an MPPA, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just overall, it was just for me personally. I just thought it was mediocre.
It was. They could have did so much more with it. Could have made it good. And they just didn't go. They went for the cheap, easy things.
Yeah, like the most like, oh, let's get a Trek nerd, and I bet you'd want to get all his enemies, like all those stupid anti-social nerds.
That's when you think about and ship it all away. That's what it is. Yeah. That's what's annoying about it.
And that's
why it's not good.
I'm a sucker for redemption. Again, I would have liked for, and then they made a reference to like cyber police, like a real thing,
which is weird. And then of course they have to throw the little thing of Christianity. They had to
throw a little bit. It's like, okay. It's just. So he dies in his chair.
Did he deserve that?
I'd rather have him gotten arrested for like maybe doing. I guess there
should be a law in the books that cyber. You took their DNA and you made them.
Not even that, but like let's say if I took an exact copy
image of you
of somebody and I tortured it, you can maybe there's a cyber law against that.
Yeah, and then maybe he gets like 2 years in prison, like 20 years in psych ward. I think he deserved redemption because what he was doing in the end, as horrible as it was, wasn't hurting anybody.
And this just came to my head right now, and maybe show him. And part of his punishment is he has like a blocker installed, so he can't go on the internet anymore.
Wouldn't that have been something?
And then he sees other people enjoying the internet, and he can't do it anymore.
Wouldn't that have been more powerful? No.
No, let's have him die in his chair. Okay.
I know, that's a little messed up.
Yeah.
And it's kind of sad, like, you can tell this guy has no family. He has nobody.
Again, the first 10, 15 minutes, you feel sorry for him, but then you see how sadistic he's being. No, real fans of Star Trek aren't like this. Not even the slightest.
I mean, why couldn't it have been, like, something that was a little bit more where you could see someone be like that? Like a Game of Thrones setting. Like, okay, maybe a little more...
Yeah, violent.
No, not Star Trek. They would never do that.
No, especially in the original series.
I mean, I'm excluding Discovery because Lurka, I don't trust
here's the thing. Is it what's better? This or Discovery?
I expect more out of Discovery, so I didn't expect anything out of this.
I expected nothing out of this Discovery.
Yeah. I expected a little bit more.
So by
default... Maybe this is
Callister's a little bit better.
Yeah, Callister, that's terrible.
The Callister is the third or second best episode of Discovery.
And what's funny about that is, let's put it against Orville, not even close.
Yeah.
Orville's up here. It's not even close. Not even close.
I think the way we would have ended it would have been more poignant.
Yeah.
Show him walking down the street and he can't use the internet, and other people are downloading episodes of his show and thinking, "Well,
because they found out what he did. Like, oh, how cool is his show?" And they end up making a mod, and he can't go in that mod. That's a Callister.
Yeah,
that would have been way worse.
And showing that he can't be a part of it anymore because he perverted it, and he's forever to be on the outside.
Don't tell me that doesn't sound a million times better. That sounds perfect.
That is a worse death than death to a real Trek fan.
It is.
Could you imagine you not being able to participate in something like that?
Yeah. That would be the equivalent of me not being able to go to a convention I wanted to go to. That's what it feel like.
Feel forever.
Like forever. You'd feel lost.
So it's just, I think that just popped in my head. I think that would have been a much better ending.
And then even make it where, like, after the 25 years are up and he gets on the internet, and they go, "Oh, we're done with that old thing. Who cares?" And no one's doing it. And so he's like, now no one's doing it.
And he loses his job and everything because that's really
Wouldn't that have been better? That would have been more poignant. No, they have to make him suffer so bad. Oh, guys, I didn't want that.
And again, in all the scenes in the office area, and everyone's cussing all the time and throwing things at each other and stuff. I don't like that crap.
Yeah, I know. And then that one other lady with a British accent saying, "Well, it's effing Christmas Eve." Why are you telling her that? That's so crude.
I don't like coworkers.
What are
like
you?
That.
Are you like some kind of sailor? Are you just cussing a storm here? It's like,
this is a game company.
I know, right?
This isn't like some bar or restaurant.
Working at some dive somewhere, some crap hole.
Like, what's her job?
Yeah, and
she's always on the phone.
And then another person, when he was the captain, he was a cross between Kirk and Zach Brannigan, but not the good parts.
No, all the horrible versions.
Horrible parts, which I didn't like either. It was really hammy. I didn't care for it.
Yeah. Overall, I give it a 4.5 out of 10.
Maybe.
Just because I felt like I was being made fun of, and it just kind of irritated me.
Because Star Trek's one thing, especially if you're going to use original series, where you shouldn't make fun of it in that way. I don't mind if you're going to do Mystery Science Theater it, because you're doing it in fun. It's all.
Or even you can make fun of it, but don't make it to where the main character is sadistic, to where you would kill a digital version of a child to torture someone.
It's also weird too. There's no other people on the ship. This is a big ship. Like, wouldn't there be other?
I know.
Crewmates?
I guess he said he's been doing this for years.
Yeah.
And I guess there's, like he said, there's dozens of these monsters just on other planets. Yeah. Just like being monsters.
Well, so wouldn't it be something like if he would have, did this to just random people and he had them in the game too, so he can actually have, a crew of, 200-300?
Yeah, if he just went to any restaurant and just, picked up a bunch of, paper plates or cups or whatever, just out of a trash can.
Yeah, why not? At that point, you already have no moral code, so what does it matter at that point?
I get he wanted to torture these specific people. That is a sociopath.
What did that girl did? What did she do?
Yeah,
she did nothing.
All the other people in the ship, I got on the wrong sandwich once, so this is my punishment. What did the new girl do? Not jump in your lap and be your girlfriend instantly? What did she do?
She kind of liked you, dude. You might have had a shot if you would have not been so crazy.
Hey, if you'd be like, if you need any help, just let me know. I'm here. My office is right here. You need to talk.
Instead of this thing, looking across the thing like this.
And doing the dead stare.
Okay. Psycho.
You need help.
Especially when she got warned about you. At that point, she's going to know. So just let it go.
And here's the thing. And yes, all the things he did were virtual things. But even then, it was still kind of sick and wrong to have that kind of... Even to have those feelings, get psychiatric help.
Because the thing is, you have to understand, people that do those kind of things will eventually may do it in the real world because they won't be good enough anymore. It has that... You lose that appeal.
Yeah, I want it to be permanent in real life.
Yeah.
So, that's going to be the review. I can't really think of anything else.
I really can't either. I wish it had went the way Crimson said at the end. And some of the things I said, I think would have been better if they'd have cleaned it up a little bit. I think this could have been a 7 or 8, honestly.
And it didn't need to be an hour plus.
It could have been 45 minutes.
If you guys really like this review, maybe we'll watch more episodes of Black Mirror. Shout them out. Which ones you think we should look at? Maybe we'll watch them.
Yeah, maybe something new.
Because the Orville has been our main thing, but that's still a long time's off. Discovery's coming back.
Back in January, unfortunately.
So, overall, for science fiction, removing all my feelings of Trek, because I have to see it from two different points of view, because from someone from the outside, it was entertaining. It did have a couple slow parts, but it was more of an average 7. But as a fan of classic science fiction, I felt like I was kind of slapped in the face. I give it's a 4.
Yeah, I would too. And at the end, I didn't think the punishment fit the crime.
No, he didn't deserve to die.
He didn't deserve to die. That was too much. That's the thing about Black Mirror, I think, seems to be things. Sometimes they take things too far, and I would have pulled it back. I would have pulled it back just a little bit. Because in a sense, by Crimson's ending, that to him would have been a virtual death. That's even worse to him. because he has to live through that. That's worse.
He's forced to live in the real world now. He
Yeah.
can't have a fantasy world anymore.
Nope. What he was dreaming of, he can't have any of it now. Not even to be a participant.
Yeah, not even on the outside. He doesn't have to be the control. He can't do anything.
Yeah.
Which I think, again, that's a death worse than death.
Yeah. And the thing is, my goodness, the cussing in this episode. I had to cut that down too. But that's Netflix.
F-bomb. F-bomb. Okay.
And not as bad as Logan, but it was about a quarter of that. I'll tell you that.
So that's going to be our review. Thanks for watching. I've been your host, Crimson Sin.
M15 PCA.
Thanks for watching.
Yep.